There's just something about clowns, right? From more recent characters like Art, Friendo, and Captain Spaulding to older ones like the killer clowns from outer space, the Joker, and my ex-wife who refuses to sign the goddamn divorce papers. Clowns have been a source of horror since I've been alive, even having the extreme or irrational fear of them defined as coulrophobia. And for a lot of 80s and 90s kids, that fear comes from one specific clown, Pennywise.
Excuse me, sir. Do you have Prince Albert in a can? You do? Well, you better let the poor guy out.
I don't really have an issue with clowns myself. I was more terrified wondering why in the hell Stephen King had an underage kid gangbang scene in the book, something we all ought to be bringing up the moment he opens his stupid fucking mouth about politics on Twitter or Blue Sky or whatever the hell those people are using nowadays.
Ugh. Brother, ugh.
But Pennywise did scare enough people, so much so that he has an entire TV miniseries, 2 recent remakes, and now a new HBO prequel series titled Welcome to Derry. The question is the series worth a damn to watch this Halloween season? Well, Welcome to Derry, Episode 1. Let's talk about it. So to go ahead and get this out of the way, let's answer a question that unfortunately has to be asked because modern Hollywood writers just don't know how to shut the fuck up. Does this series have any political or social messaging that it beats you over the head with? Simply put, yes.
Fuck.
Most of it so far has came from the Major Hanlon storyline, and if that name sounds familiar, that's because it is.
We interrupt our program to bring you this important message.
Real quick, if you're new to the channel, just know that we encourage intelligent conversation over here. So if you agree or disagree with anything I have to say, make sure you listen to the video in its entirety to get all of the context, and then let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I don't hold or delete anything, and I do respond to everyone in due time. Just attack opinions, not people. Get it? Got it? Good. Let's get back to this. Considering Welcome to Derry takes place in the 1960s, Major Hanlon would be Mike Hanlon's, one of the original kids in the Losers Club, grandfather. Fuck me though, they kind of screwed up the lore already with this because I'm pretty sure Mike Hanlon's grandfather was depicted as a sheep farmer in the 2017 film. Who knows, maybe he picked up being a farmer after the Air Force. Anyway, the messaging isn't too horrible, at least not yet, but there's multiple scenes that show that the military is still very prejudiced, especially towards black commanding officers. Oh, and by the way, HBO, just hire a military consultant, because when Major Hanlon arrives to Derry, we see a colonel salute him. That wouldn't happen. I know this is me nitpicking, but military authenticity is kind of my thing. And a colonel outranks a major, so that salute should have been the other way around, you fucking retards, and you know what? A simple Google search would have shown you that.
You had best unfuck yourself or I will unscrew your head and shut down your neck!
Alright, where were we? Oh yeah. I'm not even sure why there's a racial injustice undertone included in this military storyline, because as a military man myself, I can attest that nobody gives a hot fuck about race. Hell, even Full Metal Jacket pointed that out, and that film took place in 1968, which is just 6 years after the timeline in this show.
There is no racial bigotry here. I do not look down on niggers, kites, wops, or greasers. Here you are all equally worthless.
Whatever, I guess. Hopefully they don't keep harping on it in future episodes, but my biggest issue is this overarching conflict with Russia, which is framed in a Cold War type of light. That's fair enough, but in this episode, what looks like Russian spies break into Major Hanlon's barracks room. They proceed to beat the shit out of him, trying to get the specs of the new B-52, but his buddy Captain Pauly shows up to fend them off. And then the Russian spy, they just disappear. They run out of the room. Nobody raises an alarm. The two men just sit there on the floor and talk about, they talk about haircuts. What the fuck? Where did the spies go? Are you not concerned about this shit in the slightest? They could be going God knows where on base. Just, nope, I guess haircuts are the important thing here.
Really?
But no It storyline would be complete without a group of kids to follow along with. And thank God most of them got killed off because there wasn't a single one of them that I gave a damn about.
You serious?
The show tries to get you to empathize with Lily, who lost her father, resulting in her going a bit crazy and getting bullied at school. And there's also Teddy, who's connected to Stanley in the main It storyline, who's part of a Jewish family that has ties to the Holocaust. But I just didn't care. The scares associated with them came off as forced and contrived instead of having some actual weight because there had been enough character development. For instance, we see Teddy talking with his family, still questioning what happened to his friend Maddie, who died at the beginning of the episode, to which his father starts talking about real-world horror and the Holocaust and how Jewish people's skin was used to make lamps. No harm, no foul, that was a real thing that happened in real life, but not even 3 minutes later, Teddy has a Pennywise-induced vision of a skin lamp chasing him.
Right.
I don't know shit about this kid other than a few lines of exposition, and it doesn't help that the child actor portraying him has less acting talent than my backyard fence. The thing about the original Losers Club is that we got to know them quite a bit. We got to know their likes, dislikes, the ins and outs of their personalities, what they feared, and the different forms of trauma they faced at home. All backed by amazing performances out of both the 90s miniseries and 2017 remakes cast. And all of that happened before Pennywise showed up. So when he did, there were actual stakes because we cared about the kids. Here, nope, I didn't give a shit.
Kill them all! Kill them all!
Which works out because only Lily and Ronnie, the two girls, because of course, survived the shitty CGI mutant baby thing attack at the theater. That's right, by the way. Out of the 5 kids in this episode, 4 of them get killed the fuck off. Maddie at the beginning and the others at the end.
Boy, that escalated quickly.
I will say though, Welcome to Derry doesn't look like it's gonna pull its punches. There's blood, gore, body horror, people doing disgusting shit, and kids dying left and right, so I can at least appreciate the show subverting my expectations and cranking shit up to 11 right out of the gate. From the opening scene to the kids being isolated by Pennywise to the final scene at the theater, there's horror to be had. Granted, like I said, it feels kind of contrived and cheap, but if you look beyond that and the early 2000s looking CGI used to make it all happen, there's enough carnage here to keep things interesting, which is exactly where I'm sitting. I'm hesitant and skeptical because holy fuck have I seen some horrible TV shows so far this year, looking right at you Alien Earth and Gen V, but as a critic, I have to try and be hopeful. At least Welcome to Derry has given me a few small reasons to be, mostly centering on my psychopathic love of watching people die in the most gruesome ways. The next episode airs on Halloween, so you can bet your ass I'll have another analysis ripe and ready the 1st of November, and every day after a new episode airs. Anyway, I appreciate y'all for checking out my review. I'll talk to y'all later.